Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jarrett Hood. That's the way you can follow our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you all are watching on YouTube and like to watch on SoundCloud, how do they do that?
Hit soundcloud.com/JD Sports Show.
I'm fairly sure you saw that in the intro if you are watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, you can catch us on YouTube.
Just look up JD Sports full show on YouTube. It'll come right up.
So, Dwight.
What's up?
This week, we have suspensions to talk about, trades happening,
In August?
some protests going on.
Oh, no, what else is new in America in 2017?
Some boxing, a little bit of WWE coming your way.
Just a
as
little bit.
Well,
Shout out to the WWE folks that are watching right now.
we're gonna start off with the NFL though. First off, how was your weekend?
It was good.
As I open up most of the shows,
It was good. It was a good time. We were kicking it, you know.
we had a great time.
We had a great time.
Over the weekend.
Doing a little bit of dancing, a little bit of drinking, a little
As-
bit of, JD Sports.
JD Sports in the house.
Water in the house.
JD Sports in the house.
It was a good time. No, we had a good time.
I got to go to the Phillies game on Sunday.
That doesn't sound like a good time.
Well, they did lose, and Odubel
That sounds like a
Herrera.
good time.
Odubel Herrera.
Who you play for?
He plays for the Phillies. He had one of the worst base running mistakes I've ever seen live and in person. So, like, momentous moments of bad Phillies baseball happened in front of me a couple times. Freddie Garcia not running out a grounder to first and getting booed off the field and basically never pitching another game for the Phillies happened in front of me.
Phillies, a crowd booed a Phillies player? What a shock.
Well, he didn't run the ball out at all. He kind of just stood there after he hit the ball and just let them throw him out. So, you're getting paid a lot of money, and, people pay to go to these games, so they don't really like watching that. Odubel Herrera ran from second to third when there was a player already on third, so you obviously can't advance your base.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did not even try to run back to second once he realized he was standing on the same base as somebody else. So the catcher literally ran from home to him and tagged him out. Not the point.
Sounds like 2017 Phillies.
It was
That's
not.
funny.
It was fun though. Anytime I get to go to Citizens Bank Ballpark, I am a very happy person. That's probably my favorite thing to do because I get to do that the most. That's the most. The Phillies are the most sporting events I get to go to. But I do like going to the Eagles, Flyers, and Sixers as well. It's just the Phillies are the easiest to get to for me personally. Anyways.
Why? Because it's cheaper, or
Baseball, more games, yeah, cheaper. Basketball is honestly, if basketball and hockey were played in the summer, it would be easier for me to get to. But it's hard to drive to Philly in the middle of December because you don't know if it's going to be a snowstorm or not.
That's gonna be hard to get Phillies or Sixers tickets this year.
Coming up here soon, I used to be able to get Sixers tickets for $1. I was paying more money for surcharge fee for buying them on the internet at one point than I was for actually buying for the ticket. This year,
ain't gonna be
no, I'm gonna actually maybe spend $20, $30 for these upper level tickets.
That's a lot of money.
For the Sixers, it is. I used to be paying $2, $3 for tickets.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyways,
Yep.
that's all side note.
Yep.
You have a topic that I know you are not super. Well, there's a lot of things this week that Dwight's probably not super excited about, but
It's factual. I mean,
we're
this is kind of every week for Dwight.
gonna
But I mean,
start off with, and I'm gonna say my side of it, and then kind of get out of the way because it's gonna affect you a lot more than it is gonna affect me.
is it roasting time?
Ezekiel Elliott was suspended for 6 games for detriment to the league, I guess. I mean, I guess they're claiming it's domestic violence. I'm not exactly sure what he got suspended for outside of last year, Tom Brady. The reason that they suspended him was that they did not have proof beyond reasonable doubt, but
How many games did they suspend him for?
for 4, and they originally suspended him for 6, and they reduced it to 4.
So you're saying there's some hope?
Probably Ezekiel will go down to 4. But maybe not because this isn't deflating footballs, this is domestic violence, which they're taking very serious. We will get to this in a second. I do want to hear your take. I just want to kind of lay this out there for the people first. So Tom Brady last year, they never proved anything to do with Tom Brady deflating the balls, but
I'm detecting that pattern here early.
51% of their feeling, though, is that what they basically put it as. They had a beyond reasonable doubt over 51%. That to them was enough to say beyond reasonable doubt because they're saying in common sense world, if it was 51% to 49% that you believe it, then you don't, then the 51% would win. So what they're saying is at least 51% or more believe that Tom Brady had something to do with that. That's why they suspended him.
I might give them that for Brady's situation.
This sounds like
It's also a lot of Brady hate just in general. And there's also a lot of Cowboys hate in general.
This
anyway,
sounds like the same kind of thing. And now there's going to be a lot that comes out here in the courts over the next couple of weeks because I'm not sure if the NFLPA is going to be okay with you investigating and ruling something different than the police did, and I feel like the NFLPA might have a case on their end. The other part of this,
that they were already in talk with Zeke about fighting it. So.
And the other part of this that I go back and forth on, look, I do understand that the NFL wants to make an example for not just the players in the NFL, but for the college kids as well, that if you feel like you were going to make it to the NFL, because there's more kids in college that think they're going to be an NFL superstar than there is actual NFL superstars playing in college football right now.
It's factual.
But the way that they want to make it presume to all of those kids who think they are going to be an NFL player or superstar at any point in their life is that you need to act a certain way to get into this league, and there's still repercussions for you, which I have a problem with on the sense of my current employer should not be reprimanding me, but also still employing me because of something I did prior to them. Either do not employ me because of something I did to getting to your employment, or employ me the same way you would employ any other employee and only reprimand me for the actions I have taken since I have been employed to your company.
That's what most employers would do. The
gray area for the NFL, I'm not sure how they can approach this, how this works. Also, they're saying the alleged DJ incident and the lifting up of the shirt on St. Patrick's Day. They're saying that the way that it was
Mardi Gras.
They're saying the way that it was presented is detrimental to the league and bad for the face of the league. And if you would like to suspend somebody for the face of the league for damaging the shield as you would like, that is well within their rights to do.
Yep. Sure was.
But it's not like they do that for every player that does Gronk.
Ooh.
I've seen Gronk do a lot of things to women and say a lot of things to women.
I didn't even think about the whole Gronk thing. That's a whole nother spin on it.
But that's where that was my thought with Ezekiel Elliott pulling the shirt up. I've seen Gronk do things very close to that.
Gronk's all but grabbed a titty in his videos. Like, are you kidding me? And
yeah.
what is Gronk being Gronk?
Right. And there is no reprimand to him. Now, also, the other parallel I want to bring out with the Tom Brady situation. Do you remember the Tom Brady situation, me saying how the Colts owner was tipped off by the Ravens owner about the deflated balls, and that the Ravens and Colts owner were the driving forces behind Goodell pushing for the Brady suspension?
Yep.
I'm getting information that the Giants owner, Mr. O'Hare, was basically acting as somebody who kept saying, no, you need to dig more into this with the Ezekiel Elliott situation. And apparently that's what opened up the year-long investigation instead of it closing a little earlier. Also, apparently Ezekiel Elliott held information back the way that Tom Brady did, so that turned into the league just trying to, we're stronger than you type thing. And as you pointed out, the Patriots are hated the way that the Cowboys are also hated, so many people are going against trying to get Brady suspended, wanting to get Ezekiel Elliott suspended. I don't know morally where I stand on the sense of if he was actually beating this woman, obviously there's a problem and there needs to be something done about it, and the support for him should not be there. But at the same time, if he did, it would have A, happened before he was employed by the NFL, and B, it was brought out by the police that it was not... they didn't bring charges against him because they felt like they did not have enough evidence. Also, the other just... playing devil advocate.
Of course you are.
The NCAA is the most corrupt part of sports, and I can't just sit here and deny that I don't know of a million cases of college kids doing things in college towns that they should have gotten in a lot of trouble with the police for, but did not get in any trouble with the police for because the police, it was done by the Columbus police, and he played for Ohio State. I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I don't know. I never even dug into the case. What I am saying is I would not rule it past any police department of anything. Look at what happened in Penn State. There was 3 different DAs that tried to investigate Sandusky before he got brought down over a course of 15 or 30 years, so like 15 to 20 years. So I'm not saying, like, these things happen. I know that's an extreme case that I brought it to, but my point is these things happen. There are cover-ups. Sometimes the police are involved in these things. I'm not saying that's what happened in this case. I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I am saying that they did not bring the charges against him, and I don't know where the NFL felt like it was okay to go in and do their own investigation a year and a half longer. Dwight, as a Cowboys fan, I know this is going to be hard for you to sit there and just take them. The Patriots fans weren't super happy. The upside for you is what happened with the Patriots. The most important player on the Patriots, who was more important than Ezekiel Elliott to the Cowboys, was suspended for 4 games. They went 3-1 in those 4 games, and they won the Super Bowl. So Ezekiel Elliott, who was super important to his team can also go 5-1 or 4-2 or 3-3 maybe. Doesn't mean they won't make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl.
There's like 1,000 different layers that you just dove into. I have zero clue where to begin. But I guess the easy thing is more so just the hypocrisy of the NFL. Like there's some clowns, man. Can I just say that? Can I just call Roger Goodell a clown? And the first thing everybody wants to say was, this is the collective bargaining agreement that the NFL players agreed upon. And I guarantee you, the next agreement, it's going to switch up, and you're not going to have Goodell.
The only way it can switch up is if they lock out, and we'll have another conversation about that a different day.
Right, and the next time that this agreement is coming up, I guarantee you, this is going to yeah. Right. Well, it's going to be very close to it, like it was this past one.
We'll definitely get to that. One thing I was getting told was that Goodell didn't have much to do with this. That he actually stepped away from the investigation and the punishment.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
He did not, because he was the one who did the whole Tom Brady thing, and look how bad it turned out for him. So why?
Look how bad it turned out for him.
I agree though. Why take the guy pie in the face again if you're him? And he's obviously him and Jerry Jones are very close as well. So he probably took himself away from that for that reason as well.
Cute. And guess what the NFL just did? They just took a pie in the face for the completely opposite reason that they did when Roger Goodell was involved. Because
I understand.
Now
and he also is the man who stands up there and gets paid to take that.
And he, as he should, he deserves to. He's the man in charge. He should be the man that gets the butt end of the BS, the backlash.
Right.
The NFL in 2017, what they did with Ezekiel Elliott was they did preventative maintenance. What they did was they wanted to make an example, whether it's out of him for future college players, like you said, or if it's for just the stars in general. They did a preventative maintenance thing. To me,
they want to make it look like they care.
That's adorable. They didn't care when the kicker when they didn't care when the kicker of the Giants, because you just went off for 20 minutes. When the kicker of the Giants last year only got 1 game suspension when Ezekiel Elliott allegedly did something that 2 agencies, police agencies, police departments, said nothing happened. There's some funky quote-unquote evidence from his girlfriend, which let's talk about how his girlfriend said, you know what, allegedly, I'm just saying allegedly, the homegirl, there were text messages found from her saying, guess what, I'm a white girl, you're a black athlete. Guess who they're going to believe? Exactly what allegedly they're saying that she said.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, and the police from both departments are saying they got mixed signs from her on multiple interviews, and they just got mixed signals from her, which is why they were like, wait, we really don't have anything because you're telling too many different stories here. The NFL, they're reacting instead of they're reacting based on their history, which is, we messed up the Ray Rice situation, we messed up this situation, we messed up that situation. So now we're trying to be preventative, and instead of being better in the sense, they actually, in my opinion, they made themselves look worse because you have nothing to go off of. You're telling me that too. I'm not saying it's impossible because we know how the police are, no offense to anybody, but I'm not saying that evidence can't be overlooked or whatever.
I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that I wouldn't rule that out.
And I agree with you. But when you have 2 police departments saying pretty much the same thing about the situation, that we don't have anything. And we have Jerry Jones, which, I mean, he's going to have some bias towards him, but he's claiming he saw the same thing the police did. So what makes the NFL high and mighty that they conveniently got just a little bit more than Jerry Jones or 2 police stations that they feel the need that they need to give this man 6 games? It doesn't make any sense to me. 1, 2, it's a BS call. And people bring up the Deflategate situation, which it wasn't a fair situation. But the one thing I will say is that I was actually impressed on social media. Even Cowboys quote-unquote haters were coming out the NFL for this decision because they've literally produced 0.
Yeah, well, they've never gotten anything right, so who's to say this is going to be the first time they got something right?
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Their track record is to say that they most likely messed this up, and even in the sense of if he did it, they messed this up, because you can't really go back and punish somebody for something they did before they were with you.
That doesn't make any sense. That's
the
bullshit.
moral code on that is where I kind of waver.
And you brought up the Giants owner, how apparently there's word that he said dig a little bit deeper. Oh, so he said dig a little bit deeper from his football team's perspective. So he wasn't worried about homegirl allegedly getting beat up then.
Can I say side note?
Shout out to him.
Can I say side note?
He's the same owner that they give a shit that his kicker beat the shit out of his wife and admitted to it.
Can I say side note?
So shout out to the Giants owner.
Because the Giants owner who employed that kicker who only got suspended for one game. He had
admitted
20 accounts of domestic battery. It got dropped down to obviously a lot lower, so he got the
and he admitted to
But
it.
he also said the Giants owner earlier this year said he wouldn't like the representation to the fans about if he employed Colin Kaepernick. He doesn't think that would be. He doesn't think his fans would react the right, or something about like the way he would upheld for his fans, something like that. And my thing is like when you employ Josh Brown, and I'm with you on the sense of if he's the guy going after the witch hunt for Elliott the way that the owner of the Baltimore Ravens and Jim Irsay of the Colts did for Brady, then that is a problem if you're just going to not holding your own team to the same standard you would like to hold America's team, the Cowboys. I say that sarcastically.
I'm glad you finally admitted that.
I say that sarcastically.
No, but
New England Patriots or America's team.
Whatever. The bottom line is that this was a joke of a decision. The NFL shouldn't be embarrassed and ashamed of what they did, based on what the quote unquote evidence. It's the same thing with with the Deflategate. They claim to have evidence, but we got absolutely nothing towards that. Except this time you have two police departments are saying we got nothing, and an owner says we got nothing. Okay, whatever.
Again, but I feel like 51% reasonable doubt. Which I look. I'm not saying that's
adorable.
I agree because last year with the Brady thing, I was like, I don't know if that's enough, and I don't know if this is enough either.
Let's go.
I think Brady did it as well. I think that Brady had something to do with it. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. And look, trying to be objective, I think that Ezekiel Elliott probably crossed the line a couple times with this woman. Hold on. And she used him crossing the line a couple times as a, hey, look, every single time that there is going to be an issue, this is going to be something I'm going to pretty much put in your face and almost try to end your career and end your life. Because people get petty, people get mad, and if they are not together, which it reasonably aren't, she got nothing out of the deal of dating an athlete. And sometimes people only date athletes to do that. I'm not saying this woman wanted to do that. I'm saying that the other side of this is he could have done it, and she could be telling the truth.
I'm glad you brought that up.
He could not have done it, and he could be telling the truth. Like this is a literally he said she said situation.
Because you know what?
And I don't know who to believe. I wasn't there. I don't know, and I'm not either any of these investigators.
Fine. And you know what? And I agree with you. If Zeke did it, he's a piece of shit,
right?
And he needs to grow up and learn from it. And
I don't think
go to Mike Vick. Well, I'm cool.
And I don't think anyone disagrees with that. I feel like all of us as humans across the board would completely 1,000% agree.
I don't need to see the Ray Rice video. I don't.
Thank you.
But I almost need to see it because of the way that this is.
The way that this one is percent. Yes, I understand. You wish there was more evidence in either direction. Honestly.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with that in any way, shape, or form. And it makes it very unclear and hard, and that's why the NFL said, well, you know what, to be safe, and I am with you.
To be safe.
And I am with you
the phrase to you.
The most coward thing to do is when you have...
Be preventative.
Position of power, but you do things out of fear anyways.
That
is the weakest you can possibly be.
That's like saying we work together. You say Dwight stole, but there's no evidence, and the company says, you know what, Dwight stole, so... Just because you said so, we're just going to suspend
it. Had to be him, even though we have no evidence that it was him. It had to be him.
And to make us look good,
no evidence
to make us look good, we're going to suspend Dwight because you said he stole.
So the only thing
we say that there's evidence, but we won't show it to you. The cops get involved. They say Dwight didn't steal.
And while I think that this is an individual case, and I think that every case usually is an individual case.
This really came out to be that.
Since 2007, I think it is, the Dallas Cowboys have had 120 plus players arrested, which is 30 plus more than any other team in the NFL. Do you think, and like I said, I feel like this Zeke Elliott case is an individual case, but do you...
It doesn't apply to that.
At some point... There is a pattern if you have that many more people. Do you think that Jerry Jones' risk-reward thing, this is a situation where the NFL finally felt like they can kind of step in and be like, hey, boom, we're going to be able to get you because you do a risk-reward thing. And Does he not? I mean, he takes the risk reward all the time. I mean,
that's factual. Number one,
he does that in every kind of way. Jalen Smith, look at the linebacker.
Yeah,
he drafted him in the second round. And that's a whole different risk reward than it
Jerry
is
Jones
does
on the field. Jerry Jones does that. That's not. There's no denying that. But again, if it's the NFL reacting and saying, "Ha, we got you," then again, that just explains how much of a joke that they are. That you're just waiting for the opportunity and you're saying, "Oh, quote unquote, we got you." Doesn't make any sense. And real quick to go back to the whole. Because I've read some of this shit online too, where people are saying, you gotta understand, it has nothing to do with domestic violence. It has everything to do with the fact that he grabbed a girl's titty, that he did this at a bar.
Fighting with the DJ, maybe.
I remind people that there's been zero evidence towards any of that outside of him grabbing a girl's titty at Mardi Gras, which 100% of the males and 98% of the females do on that day anyway.
What about Dak Prescott coming up in videos getting in fights?
In New Orleans? Just saying. Everything else has been hearsay, and everything else has been... Oh, by the way, going back to the domestic violence thing real quick that I just thought of, witnesses of that event claimed that nothing went down. So, again, everything's just funky to me, and this quote-unquote evidence is available. Is it really available? Because... There's a counter argument towards that. Oh, it's going to get extremely ugly. But it's going to get extremely ugly.
Well, maybe we'll find out the truth in this time.
We're going to get either we're going to get the Ray Rice video or we're going to expose the NFL for being the frauds that they were. Either way, it's not going to be good.
My thing also is, so if he appeals it and this goes through a long appeals process, the NFL might be able to pin this at a bad time for the Cowboys, and maybe the 4 games go to 6 games comes at the end of the season, or that would be very bad for the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys.
I think it gets cut in half. I think he gets 3.
I feel like the league would at least want to, the Cowboys would want to get this over with, the suspension over with earlier in the season than later. So you don't want to appeal this longer than the next 2 weeks because you only have 3 weeks until the season starts.
And I will say really quickly, people are saying, "No, this is the end of the Cowboys." People forget before Zeke got there, Darren McFadden.
The Cowboys, they have Darren McFadden. They have Smith.
A lot of people are saying that it's over now,
and they have Alfred Morris.
I'll tell you exactly why I'm saying that because you're a logically thinking person, but people are saying, "Oh well, look at last year, McFadden and Morris didn't do anything." The year before Zeke showed up, McFadden had almost 5 yards a carry. He averaged over 1,000. He had over 1,000 yards for the year. Alfred Morris did solid for himself last year. Again, you're not going to replace a talent like Zeke.
They're saying Rod Smith might be the 2nd or 3rd running back on the depth chart this year over Alfred Morris.
They're going to be all right. You don't replace a talent like Zeke, obviously, but they're going to be all right. He is very good.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying they're going to win out, but they're going to be all right.
They just need to manage a couple games without him, and when he comes back,
McFadden can do that. So can Morris.
He'll be healthy in week 7 or 8 or whenever he comes back, whatever week that is.
Shout out to the Cowboys, quote unquote haters. They can't look at some objectively and just be like, you know what? No, McFadden's all right. Alfred Morris is all right. Like I said, the year before, McFadden had over 1,000 yards. So how are we in trouble?
Fans last year
we could be, but until I'm proven otherwise, shut up.
I got into an argument last year about the Cowboys running backs with the Eagles fans, a couple Eagles fans. It was ridiculous.
And we had that conversation on the show. McFadden did very well for us. So, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of players that did well for one of our favorite teams, Jordan Mathews, I felt like had a pretty decent career as an Eagle. He got traded to the Bills because
the Eagles pulled in Eagles.
Because no, I actually like what the Eagles got in return for him.
Of course you did.
He's a cornerback. He can come in and step in as a number 1 cornerback. Ronald Darby can literally step in as a number 1 cornerback. The Eagles needed that. They needed to solidify. That's the worst part of their defense.
They ending a receiver again.
I feel like Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey is good, and they also have 3 guys that they can rotate in the slot. I do not like Nelson Aguilar, but I do like Hugh Jackson.
Definitely, never should you.
I like Bryce Triggs, and they have now signed 2 guys that cleared waivers off of other teams that were running as 3rd and 4th receivers for 2 other teams. Look, I really honestly think Bryce Triggs would be a good slot receiver. So, plus you have Selleck and Ertz. Honestly, the Eagles' offensive line is very good as well. They're not going to. Jordan Mathews, he probably asked for this trade. I want to break down the other parts of this trade as well, but Jordan Mathews probably asked for this trade because earlier in training camp, they did not play him in the first 2 weeks of training, or a week and a half of training camp. He did not dress at all. And it was a team decision, it said. Now, usually when that happens, it's because they were shopping him, but I think he went to them because he is a professional. And I think instead of going to the media and saying, I don't like that here's what would make sense about him going to them and asking for a trade. He is on his rookie deal. So you make your most money in the NFL after your rookie deal on your second deal.
Of course.
If Alshon Jeffrey has a good year, he's on a 1-year deal, then he's going to get re-signed for obviously a long-term deal as your number 1 wide receiver because he can be a top 5, top 10, top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. Torrey Smith is on a 2-year deal. So chances are Jordan Mathews is not going to jump over Torrey Smith in the next 2 years. His contract ends in 2 years. His contract ends in 2 years. Well, but the thing is, he felt like he wouldn't have the opportunity to prove himself to do that this year, and even if he had the opportunity to do that next year...
Wow, that they wouldn't give him that opportunity, considering what he proved for that team.
I agree, I was a huge Jordan Mathews fan. As a number 1 or a number 2, though, on a different team, he can get a bigger deal. And I feel like that was his thought process. And it honestly makes sense for the Eagles to trade him if you have that. If you have Bryce Triggs who can play in the slot. If you can go out and maybe get Hugh or a couple of these other guys to turn out to be a decent 3. I understand what you're saying, but
I didn't say anything. I'm just gonna say it sounds like a typical Philadelphia team move
to me. I feel like
trade one of our best assets and say, well, we could.
So you think he's better than Torrey Smith?
Yes.
Because I think he's as good as Torrey Smith. I don't know if he's better than Torrey Smith.
Yes. Yeah, that's easily 1 and 2 to me.
But
I'd give him a solid number 2, but I definitely put Torrey Smith number 2 in that situation.
Don't get me wrong. My mouth was watering thinking that Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, and Jordan Mathews were the 3 receivers. Like, my mouth was watering at the thought of having 3 guys who can honestly be a number 1 at some point in their career as on your roster. Like, that's incredible to think of after last year being Jordan Mathews as the only receiver on the Eagles that I trusted.
Right.
And, you know, and honestly, I'm glad that you like Jordan Mathews that much. Most Eagles fans did not like him. No, I thought he was my favorite offensive Eagle for the last couple years.
Well, he has been.
I think he's been solid. He dropped 2 passes last year, and they happened in the first 2 weeks, and everyone crushed him because of it. He only dropped 4 passes his whole career with the Eagles.
So people really think Torrey Smith's going to do that much better?
No, I think Torrey Smith will get more yards, but honestly, here, look, the offensive line's better this year. The running game's going to be better this year. It will open up more for the passing game. So yes, Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffrey is there. Alshon Jeffrey opens up the field for everybody else. He's going to get double covered the whole time.
Yeah.
So yes, so Jordan Mathews as the number 2 would have had a better year than this year as an Eagle than he would have last year.
That's just another weapon on your squad.
And I don't disagree with that. But they thought that Bryce Triggs, and they also, like I said, they feel like they have a rotation of wide receivers. I don't believe in Aguilar, but
nor should you.
The rest of the world does.
Why?
I do not know. Every training camp this happens.
Based on his exposure?
Every training camp. This is the 3rd training camp in a row that everyone's trying to sell me on Nelson Aguilar that I'm just like, I have never been sold.
Nelson Aguilar has a job, but Colin Kaepernick doesn't?
Nelson Aguilar should not have a job. You know me. I said at the week after that Seahawks game, I came on here, the first thing I said on this show is he needs to get cut. He would not be on my team. I would sit Odubel Herrera for doing what he did on Sunday with the Phillies for the rest of the week. I would not let him play the rest of this week, but that's not how sports work for some reason.
Look, don't get it twisted. I mean, you guys definitely need a cornerback. Hell, we need a cornerback.
He's a number 1 corner too. He gets separated as a number 1 corner.
There's too many wide receivers in this division, especially this year. It's absolutely
to not have
ridiculous.
A secondary.
And we damn sure we didn't have a secondary last year. We damn sure don't have one now because we lost what little we had. So the fact that you got a corner, hey, it's good for your secondary. You definitely need one.
As good as the Eagles front 7 is, I was always on board with that.
I also think it's kind of funky.
I said it in the beginning of training camp.
We'll see. I told it might work out for y'all, but it's funky to me.
I told my cousin and a couple other Eagles fans that was what I would have done with Jordan Mathews because I thought
we need a corner.
It felt like they were going to get rid of him, and I felt like if you're going to trade him, please trade him for a corner, and I'm glad they did. Definitely. And they got a number 1 corner out of himself. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah. In this division,
obviously the Bills and the Eagles both value Jordan Mathews to be high enough to get a number 1 corner out of him. That's a big deal in the NFL.
You got rid of him for anything. It's good that you got a corner.
The rest of that trade happens. There was a separate trade with the Bills. They traded Sammy Watkins to the LA Rams for a young corner.
Somebody got finessed.
And 2 draft picks.
So who got finessed?
The thing I will...
Didn't Sammy Watkins get injured?
Yes, but the Rams head of medical staff was the head of the Bills medical staff the last 3 years.
Shout out to those physicals, though.
No.
That is wild. Shout out to y'all for that, though. I mean, hey.
Figured it out somehow.
Y'all lucked out. What did y'all know?
So.
And what does the physical of the, Bills or Rams? What team is on that? What does the team of the physical team of the Rams not know? Or not know how to do that? They had no idea. shouldn't this have been voided? Like, shouldn't this have been found out during the physical?
Well, if it
how in the hell? Well, right, clearly. That's the thing. Like, that's a little too convenient for me, though. I'm not saying that y'all purposely did this and knew about this, but it is the fact that you're saying he passed the physical obviously means that it was just that. It was just a clean trade. It just bad luck, but to me, it's just a little too funky. It's too convenient.
What, Sammy Watkins, what happened? Did he get hurt?
Yeah. You didn't hear about this?
I know Jordan Mathews got hurt, but Jordan Mathews got hurt in his first day of practice with the Bills.
Is that who I'm mixing up? I know one of them.
Yeah, Jordan Mathews got hurt his first day of practice with the Bills, but he actually got hurt in the practice.
Okay, maybe that's it then. Then I stand corrected.
He fractured his sternum. He got hit hard. He took a weird hit.
That's what I'm. All right, fair enough.
He's dead. He'll come back next week. Oh, I was gonna say Sammy Watkins didn't play when I think he was hurt. So Sammy Watkins.
I knew it was one of them. We're talking about three different teams. I'm getting confused.
And then two separate trades. A lot of people think that the Rams though got really beat on this trade because they traded a young corner away and 2 picks for Sammy Watkins.
That is excessive.
Here's my defense on Sammy Watkins because he's been hurt the last couple years. Here's my defense on Sammy Watkins though.
Do you know what rounds those are, by chance?
2nd and 3rd next year.
Damn, they did get finessed.
Look, Sammy. They don't have any wide receivers, and Sammy Watkins, 2nd highest in yards per catch since he's been in the league. He also has missed.
Rams.
He has also missed 1/3 of his games. Yeah, you don't have a quarterback. Jared Goff,
they don't have anything other than a running back, allegedly, who fell off the map last year because you don't have.
Because their offensive line is horrible. But Todd Gurley's a good running back.
That's what I'm saying. You could use those picks for some linemen.
He was getting hit. I read a stat. He got hit on average 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Every single play, on average, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And he averaged 3 yards a carry. So technically, that's 6 yards a carry if he would never have gotten touched 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage as many times as he did.
Random question for you.
Yeah.
Who has a worse offensive line, him or Newton?
Ooh, last year it was him. This year it's probably going to be him again, but that's rough. I mean, because Cam had a very bad offensive line last year.
2 great players that just can't get any help out there.
Well, I think hopefully the Panthers figure. I don't know. We'll get there. Last thing with the NFL.
I'd probably say the Rams, but anyway.
I agree. Last thing with the NFL.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch claims he never stood for the national anthem his entire career. Michael Bennett.
It's breaking news to us.
Not Martellus, not the tight end. Michael, the defensive end for the Seahawks. But so did like 15 other Seahawks as well with him.
Oh, yeah? But they all got jobs, so clearly it's not about kneeling.
No NBA player went out of their way to talk about what happened over the weekend until LeBron James tweeted about it. Why did he
tweeted about it? I didn't even see that.
He tweeted at the president. He went very. You know how this is the one good thing that.
Sometimes he.
I was gonna say I know this is the one thing you actually applaud LeBron on is his social activeness on issues in America.
Sometimes, yes. He's been good within. Well, what I've been paying attention to the past year, he's been good with that. Yes, I'll agree with that. And I'm a hater.
And a lot of people who even dislike LeBron, that is the one thing that they always applaud him for is the way he goes after that.
Good for him.
But why do all these people with guaranteed money in the NBA? What did I say earlier? I said the bigger form of weakness to me is you are in a position of power, you have nothing to lose, and yet you are still afraid to do something. You are still living out of fear. That is a bigger weakness to me than anything else. These NBA players have a duty to say something, none of them say anything. Until LeBron steps up and says something, and then everybody started tweeting all this stuff about it. And Mark Cuban and Adam Silver came out last week and said that they wanted their players to be more active like Colin Kaepernick. Not the point.
The league in general, the NBA in general,
they want to be forward about that, yes.
Very good.
But their players don't take advantage of it the way the NFL players attempt to, and the NFL players have less guaranteed money.
You're right, and shout out to Cuba in general because he's been fighting this battle forever.
He's always on.
But now he has a commission on his side that is very forward thinking.
They let Popovich. I mean, how many times do you hear Popovich and Kerr say those kind of things? Tyronn Lewis said a couple things.
But the players don't, like you said, but other than LeBron.
And they have, but now, and then after LeBron does, obviously a bunch of people start going after it. But I just don't understand why does it take for him? Everybody should be having their social duty to do it. Not the point. Back to the NFL. Do you think that Marshawn Lynch and Bennett feel like a little more okay to do this than, say, a rookie would? Like, say Deshaun Watson or Deshaun Kaiser, the 2 rookies. Do you say they wanted to make a social stand, but they probably wouldn't do it because they want to continue to be the face of their teams and try to, have this long-term thing where these other two players that we're talking about both have won championships, both have they're on their 4th and 5th deal. They made a lot of money in endorsements and on the field. They are set. Their careers. People know them as long-term good NFL players. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Colin Kaepernick is nothing better than the 25th best quarterback in the NFL, according to everybody. So. My point, even if he's nothing better than the 20th best quarterback, the thing is that's enough for him to not have a job. Where Bennett and Lynch are both top 15 players at their position, so that's enough for them to be able to do this and still have a job.
I would definitely say that's 1,000% factual. I mean, think about it. I mean, just answer your own question. If you were a player going into a league, would you really feel comfortable running your mouth unless unless you were named that you know that a team isn't going to just get rid of you. Like if you're quote unquote beast mode and you're this monster player, are you more confident?
He's most likely retiring in the next 3 years. Bennett has no more than 5 or 6 more years left in him. So these guys are not gonna. They've made the most of their money. Their contracts aren't ever going to be affected by this.
As opposed to one of these rookies who aren't proving, who are expendable, who can get
play for the next
redrafted next year.
You're told to basically be quiet.
It makes sense from that perspective, definitely. I do think it's funky because I'm sorry. Have you ever heard that Marshawn Lynch sits down or kneels during national anthem?
He didn't kneel. He said he sat down. He said he'd done that his whole career.
I damn sure never heard about
Jack Del Rio said he didn't know he did it either. So after the game, when he was asked about it, he said, "Well, I had a long, strong conversation with him, and I told him that I am always going to stand for it, and I wish that all my players did. But I respect you as a man."
Shout out to Del Rio for that.
And if you would like to do that, then that is your absolute right, and we moved on. And they moved on, and he's going to be the starting running back, and they're not going to worry about it.
Shout out to Del Rio for that. Also, shouts to the difference for the people that are going to point it out. Again, Marshawn Lynch is under contract. It really wasn't an issue when Colin was under contract but now he is not under contract. He does have a job. I'm just saying it's a whole different ballgame when you're actually under contract and you have to either keep a player and use them for their talent or cut somebody and pay them. That doesn't make any sense. Obviously, I'm going to keep you.
There's been a lot of riots and stuff in Oakland over the years, and Marshawn obviously is from Oakland, so I'm sure the people in the city of Oakland, they're obviously going to be supportive of him. So the franchise is not going to be against what he's doing in any way, shape, or form.
It's where he belongs, quote unquote,
as well.
Oakland, duh.
I don't know why I said that was the last thing I want to talk about with the NFL. I got 2 more topics with the NFL real fast. One, I don't know if you heard about this. I read it on CBSSports.com. The Niners are going to employ the first female coach for the entire season. I don't know exactly what she's going to do. As of right now, she is, I'm pretty sure, an assistant on the special teams, or maybe on the offense. I forget. She's an assistant of the, of a specific position. They have not announced the exact position she's going to have throughout the season because you have more coaches in preseason than you do in the regular season, so they're going to shrink the coaches down. But she has said that she accepted a position from the 49ers for the season. So,
cool. Shout out to the NFL again being one step behind the NBA again. No, that's cool.
No, absolutely, I agree. But I thought that was pretty neat. And the other thing I want to talk about with the NFL, because that was my feel-good. I always try to do the feel-good story. I feel like that's awesome.
Was that the feel-good this week?
I think that's pretty awesome. I think it's really neat that they're doing that. And I made
2017 took y'all long enough.
Did, really, seriously. A lot of women like football, so it makes sense.
Yeah, right.
She was really close with somebody in Atlanta, and Shanahan was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta last year, and he's now the head coach of the Niners. So he took her along, and that's why she's going to make the staff, because she was a big part of what was going on with, I guess, them in Atlanta over the last couple of years. Anyways.
Pays to know somebody.
Yeah, she worked in the front office or something. So,
good for her.
Last thing I want to talk about, rookie quarterbacks balling out in the preseason. Now, last year, Dak Prescott set the precedent from balling out from the first second of him playing in preseason till basically the defense couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game. I mean, it's not like Dak Prescott didn't ball out the entire time. So,
I don't know if people change that narrative, but anyway. Yeah.
Deshaun Kaiser did it in the fourth quarter for the Browns. So fourth quarter preseason game, not the best to judge off, but he did well in the 2-minute drill, won the football game, and had a really good whole second half. Mitchell Trubisky looked like the number 1 overall pick in the second and third quarter.
His hype, I would hope so.
It was incredible considering I've heard nothing but bad things out of camp going into that game about him. Deshaun Watson, which I know he's been a baller, balled out in his preseason game. I feel like I'm missing another rookie quarterback somewhere else, but
you would know better than me because I'm not paying attention.
It's just not that I would take anything away from it. But
I would, but go ahead.
Freshman quarterbacks in the college football over the last, say, maybe 10 years have evolved into more. I mean, look, last year Alabama went to the national championship with a freshman quarterback. Jameis Winston, as a freshman quarterback, went to the national championship. Cam Newton, it was his first year playing major Division I college football. He played junior college for 2 years before that, but took his team to the national championship right away. These quarterbacks are coming in, and those are just 3 examples. These freshman quarterbacks are coming in more ready from high school to college than ever before. So that means they're coming more ready from college to the NFL ever before. RG3, Cam Newton, Dak Prescott. There's been so many more rookie quarterbacks. Andrew Luck, you can even throw him and Russell Wilson. Back to Ben Roethlisberger way back when. You can throw so many rookie quarterbacks over the last, and Ben Roethlisberger was the exception back then, obviously. Tom Brady was the exception back then, obviously. But you can throw all these very first and second year quarterbacks. A lot more over the last 5 years, I would say. Leading Carson Wentz, leading their teams to victories and actually being the face of franchises. So, with that said, this preseason and just those quarterbacks that I'm talking about balling out, do you see by the end of this year we have maybe 3 or 4 more freshman, rookie quarterbacks, I guess, in the NFL? Rookie quarterbacks being the Carson Wentz, the Dak Prescotts. Do you see Jared Goff out in Atlanta the second year being
okay.
the RG3s, Kirk Cousins?
Okay. I want to say no just because of who I am. I'm a show me type of guy, but based on recent history, somebody, if not one, maybe 2 or 3, it's almost a guarantee.
They're going to look
good. It's almost a guarantee. Who, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's almost a definite at this point that at least one, maybe 2.
I really think Deshaun Watson was way underrated going into the peak. I don't know how you go from him being the best quarterback in college football the last 2 years to shorts and t-shirt. He is the 5th best quarterback. He was the best quarterback in college football over a 2-year span. He led his team to 2 national championships, won 1.
We'll have a conversation by November, and then we'll have a general idea of clearly this guy's legit.
I think Kaiser is the best one to start because he plays down in Cleveland.
Somebody's gonna ball out.
Yeah,
that goes without saying. Who, I don't know, but I'm a wait and see kind of guy, and that's what I'm going to do.
I just thought that was something interesting to talk about.
No, it definitely is. I mean,
something to keep our eye on.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit. So that's been the early notes of preseason for me so far. We will definitely have more football coming up in the near future. I'm going to talk a little bit of college here in the not next week, but the week after, because after that show that week, that Thursday, college football starts with an Ohio State game.
Wild.
So
can you believe we're here?
We're there, man. There's 2 seasons. There's 2 seasons.
Does it feel like it to you?
Does it feel like football season and waiting for football season. So I'm excited for football season to start.
I don't know. The past couple of years, I haven't felt football season until it was like right here, like the week of. I was like, holy shit!
But now it's here. But it feels like it's here now.
Not to me.
No.
Like I said, the past 2.
You don't watch preseason. I watch a lot of preseason.
I watch about this a centimeter.
I watch
preseason.
The entire Eagles games.
You might get
if there is a preseason game on, I will throw it on.
He will be that guy.
I don't intentionally watch the entire Eagles games. I just end up doing it.
AKA he intentionally ends up doing it.
Moving on. There's a fight August 26th.
Oh, word? Who?
Well, Vince McMahon has to do SummerSlam on Sunday, and then he's going to fly out to Vegas for his other pay-per-view event.
Shout out to the WWE fans that are sticking around. We got you in a little bit. They're not sticking around.
No.
That's cool. They clicked on it, though. Shout out to y'all.
Do you... I keep joking about Vince McMahon setting this fight up. I think he's setting up...
It's getting a little more funky, too,
I think he's setting up a second fight, though, between McGregor...
Oh, you went McGregor. I was going John Jones. Oh.
Well, he's gonna fight. He's gonna set that up with Brock Lesnar.
They're gonna got like 2 more fights
I think they're gonna fight at WrestleMania and then UFC 275 or whatever it will be. But I also think he's gonna set up a McGregor versus Paulie Malignaggi, I think is his name.
Who he play for?
He used to be he's not used. He's a boxer. But he boxed Mayweather a couple times apparently, or once at least. There's a video.
Allegedly.
Dana White put it up.
Of course he did.
McGregor punching Paulie.
I'm sorry for the SoundCloud folks, for all 2 of y'all. He just did the quotations.
And it was more of a roll-off, and then McGregor pushed him, apparently, allegedly, from Paulie. The video is hard to really tell. I saw the video once. I didn't really...
I mean, you catch me off balance and push me, I'm going to fall, too.
Yeah, and
are you going to brag that you knocked me out, though?
All right.
Are you?
No.
That's a scummy thing to do.
I agree, and here's my thing.
Especially if you're my boss, and you said that.
Here's my thing. They paid this guy to come in to spar. So that means this guy needed to intentionally just take a bunch of shots to the head. That means he was literally supposed to just only punch him about once every 3 or 4 times he gets punched. He wasn't supposed to go in there and fight him.
Okay, you have a helmet on.
He wasn't supposed to go in there and try to box this man. He was supposed to spar him the way that...
hits.
He was just supposed to run around the ring and try to avoid him the way that Mayweather's going to run around the ring and avoid him, not actually punch him.
That's funny. That's funny. That's really funny. He is a sparring guy. Anyway.
That's all he does.
That's funny. That's really funny to me, because, anyway.
He was not in there to fight McGregor. There was no... They said do not throw many... He didn't throw many punches at McGregor.
You're a sparring guy.
He said after he got thrown down, that was like the 7th round, the next couple rounds, all he did was throw punches at McGregor, apparently. Which I believe actually happened, because the contract was for him to fight him for 12 rounds. So, I mean, unless the ref calls it...
Sparring partner throwing punches.
He ends up just throwing a bunch of punches at him, apparently, in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th round.
I mean...
McGregor claims he knocked him out. Paulie claims that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard.
Thank you. I'm glad he said that.
I don't know. I understand he didn't knock him out. No, I know he didn't. I know McGregor didn't knock him out. No, I know McGregor didn't knock him out.
I need to find my wallet so I can make this bet. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. If McGregor don't knock it the hell off.
Dude, I think they're setting themselves up for McGregor's second boxing match. I think McGregor decided, you know what, this boxing thing's a little easier and I make more money off of doing it. Let's start a fight with this guy too while we're at it. And he might even pick another guy while this is what he's going to do. He's going to keep just fighting his next sparring guys. He's just going to keep fighting them.
You know what's annoying about this? You said Dana White posted this. He's so just trying to get extra buys, and I get it. As a promoter...
Mayweather said he's not the same fighter. Talk about extra buys. Mayweather said he's not the same fighter anymore.
Obviously. Neither is him. Neither is he, so that's funny. Shout out to Mayweather for making that comment.
McGregor's not even a boxer.
Number one. Number two, like I said, as a promoter, Dana White is the Vince McMahon of quote-unquote real sports. He gets the job done. He knows how to get buys. He knows to get butts in seats. He is doing his job by saying, oh, look at this. But we all, like any logical thinking human being knows damn well McGregor did not knock this man out. If they don't knock it off for us logical folks, come on, man. Stop insulting me. Stop trying to insult my intelligence. I get it, because there's a lot of dumb people that I'm sure retweeted. I was like, oh, look at this. They really meant it. But come on, man. For the rest of us normal folk, quote unquote, can we just cut off the BS and stop acting like this is going to be the second coming of Ali Frazier and just call for what it is, which was Ali versus, I just drew a blank. Is it Sonny Ogo?
Yeah.
I believe so. I might be getting that
name wrestler?
Wrong. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Can we not act like that's not what it's going to be? Which is a joke. Can we not act like McGregor is Oscar De La Hoya out here? Like, can we just relax? I get it. For the hype train, I get it. Like I said, I get it. It makes sense.
It's not true. None of it's true, but it's funny.
It's kind of funny. But from the other guy's perspective, I'd be mad too. And
I'd be pissed if I was him.
Oh, in 6 months, I'd be saying, let's go.
I think they're going to box.
And I hope he knocks McGregor the hell out in the first round.
I think he probably will.
My point. That's crazy, man. Can't wait till this shit's over. Can I just say that? I cannot wait until this fight, quote unquote fight, is done.
Well, Vince can't either because he has a hectic week coming up, man. He's got to do SummerSlam.
He has a real fight coming. Oh.
And then he's got to do that. Funny? So
I just said Vince McMahon's fights are more real than this situation.
Maybe. Or as real, at least.
It's neck and neck, and if you don't see that, I'm just saying.
So
you're probably the same person who retweeted that fight, quote unquote.
SummerSlam. We making picks?
Whew.
I do really bad at this, so I want to keep doing it.
You really do.
I want to keep doing it because I do so bad.
There is a major pay-per-view, SummerSlam, the second biggest event of the year.
5 hours? 4 hours? 7 hours?
8. I think it's about 8 this year.
12?
No,
6 to 6.
9.5. Yeah, right.
Good for them.
It's So obnoxious. No, I mean, SummerSlam in recent years, WWE, I mean, SummerSlam's always been a big deal, but in recent years, like especially like the past 4 or 5, I'd say.
Where's it at this year?
They really try to make it like WrestleMania Junior, basically, which isn't a bad thing, as they should. This year they're up in Barclays. They're in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, Jay-Z's house, the house that Jay-Z built. Yeah, that he gave up after like 2 years. But
no, he still owns the building.
We don't talk about that. No, but it's a solid card. It's a solid card. SummerSlam is going on this weekend. We got 11 matches, which is a shit ton. I'm going to run through a lot of them really quickly because a lot of them are just kind of meh to me personally, even as a wrestling fan.
But we're still going to pick them?
Oh, yeah, definitely,
right,
absolutely. And I mean, there's one which I'll get to that is...
We'll dive into a couple.
It's still being decided
okay.
as of this recording, which we're recording on Monday, and one match in particular. I'll get into that. Anyway, so the first match I got on really quick, we got John Cena versus Baron Corbin.
I mean, I'm going with Cena, obviously.
You going Mr. America?
Yeah.
You're not going with the...
Dun, 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 dun.
Of course you are.
Dun, dun, dun,
you know, you missed a stat, man.
The time is now.
You know, well, yeah. So you going with Super Cena?
Yeah, obviously.
That's funny. I'm going with Super Cena as well.
Everyone's favorite wrestler.
But I got a stat for you because you like stats. I know you love stats, so I purposely wrote this down when I saw it.
I love it.
John Cena has lost 6 straight SummerSlam matches.
Woo!
6. But I feel like this has to be the one that he breaks. It
the
has
time is now.
It has to be. Has to be. I mean, a couple years ago, it was against what? It was against Brock Lesnar. So
do you think he'll come out and rap?
Sense. Oh, please. I hope not. He's just going, no.
That was my favorite John Cena.
That's everybody's favorite John Cena. Unless you're like 6. Or have... Never mind. I'm keep it moving. Unless you're a female or a 6-year-old. Anyway, we're just going to keep moving. I got John Cena as well. Yes.
Cool.
And you are messing me up something fierce. Alright, so next up we got, for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, we got the Usos, who are challenging the New Day, who are the champions.
Oh, I'm going New Day. I don't know who the Usos are, that's why.
The Usos, they're the dudes that used to have the face paint, and it was like cut in half. And remember...
Oh, yeah. I'm still going with Booty-O's.
You're going with Booty-O's, really?
Yeah.
You know what, at this point, I feel like... It's so played out to me at this point.
Well, it is.
It's so played out to me. I feel like the New Day, they've run their course. Now is the time to go to something new.
New Day rocks.
No, they suck.
New Day
sucks.
New Day
sucks.
Alright, but I'm going with New Day. So you're going with the Usos?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Usos. The Usos are on the momentum right now, unlike they've had in the past couple of years. I definitely feel like it's their time, even though I thought the whole we're quote unquote thugs now, we're tough guys now. Any of these special
matches yet?
Nah, bro, this is just straight up a tag team match.
No, but I mean, it was the first one a special match?
No, just 1-on-1.
Okay.
Anyway, so next one, straight up again, 1-on-1. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. I'm going with Finn Balor.
I'm going with Finn Balor as well, even though I like Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt never wins. That's all I got to say about that. Shout out to Finn Balor because I thought they were going to have...
Do you think they're going to put the face paint on?
They have to.
They haven't done it in a long time. In a good while, right?
It's just like Mania.
Time.
Yeah.
The time's now.
Literally, it's been a minute. Shout out to a prediction I had a couple months ago, which ended up being wrong. I was for sure thinking they were going to have Lesnar versus Finn Balor, the Beast versus the Demon for SummerSlam. It didn't happen, so shout out to me for being wrong.
You did say that, I remember.
Yeah, I was wrong for that, so shout out to me. Next up, Big Show versus Big Cass. I'm going Big Cass.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Big Show.
Well, it's the Big Show.
It's the big retirement, what it needs to be. Next up, another wash, Randy Orton versus Rusev. I'm going Randy Orton.
I'm going RKO all day.
Yeah. I mean, I
want to see like 5 of them.
It's such a throwaway match.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly it only takes 1, so it has to be just 1.
Okay.
Allegedly, unless it's a pay-per-view, which means it's going to be at least 3.
Yeah, 10.
Because we kick out of like 8.
7 of them.
Right. Now we get into the real shit. The rest are championship matches. Dude, we got 3, 4, 5 championship matches.
Okay. 6 if you include tag team titles.
Right, so 6. That's insane, dude.
That's a great lineup.
First one I got is AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States title.
AJ Styles.
Shane O'Mac is a special guest referee.
Ooh, nice. So I hope he jumps off of something really high.
You know he's going to. The build-up was going to be... Everybody thought it was going to be Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, but for some reason they decided to make him the special guest referee.
So he's going to beat Kevin Owens up.
I don't know, because he has history with AJ Styles. He had that match back at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's an interesting little build-up.
I think AJ Styles is going to win.
Shane has history with both of them, so it makes sense. Well, Shane has recent history with Kevin Owens. I'm going with AJ Styles too, just because I feel like the title's been flipping back and forth a lot recently. So I feel like it makes sense just to keep it on somebody right now. So I'm going with AJ Styles. Not confident with that, but anyway. The match that I was talking about that is still being determined as we're recording this is Alexa Bliss versus either Sasha Banks or Nia Jax. Sasha Banks and Nia Jax are facing each other tonight, and the winner will face Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. I know that was a lot. But originally it was supposed to be Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Bayley got injured last week, like legitimately in real life. She tore her shoulder up something fierce. So now we got, what sucks, I really like her. But we got, I'm taking the I'm taking the champ. I'm taking Alexa Bliss.
Okay, I'm going to take Alexa Bliss as well.
No matter who she faces.
I'm going to take her as well by default.
Again, I'm not confident in that, but I'm still going with that. Okay. Again, by default. Next up, SmackDown Women's Championship. Naomi versus Natalya.
I'm going Natalya.
Yeah, I'm going Natalya as well.
We picked differently yet?
Yeah. Yeah, we picked, I guess, Usos and New Day.
That's right, all right.
Actually, yeah, this is kind of weird. We actually have it neck and neck. It's kind of weird.
That one.
Yeah, it's weird because I pay attention a little more than you do, so that doesn't make sense to me. I'm going Natalya just because she's a heart.
Okay.
So you know where I'm at with that.
I'm with it.
You can't be with the heart. Go with Naomi.
I don't want to go with Naomi.
Why not? She's a champion.
Because I like the other one better.
Alright. I'm going.
A little bit I do know I like her better.
I'm going Natalya not just because she's a heart, but because I feel like she deserves it. She's been kind of just chilling for the past couple of years. I feel like she deserves just the opportunity to have the belt one more time before she calls it quits. Alright, now this is going to get a little interesting. We got 2 matches left. For the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, the champion.
Okay.
The Canadian Indian.
Yeah. Jinder Mahomes.
Versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, Nakamura's the dude from Japan.
Yes.
I'm taking him.
God damn it, I can't stand you. Are we really going to pick all the same? This is anticlimactic as hell. Shout out to everybody that's still watching, all one of you.
I like him. He's a little over the top, but I like him.
Hey, he based his style off of Michael Jackson, and even though they call him the artist like Prince, it's kind of weird. But anyway, big Michael Jackson fan, so I'm a big fan of him in general. I'm going with him as well. You're in New York. The fans love him in general, but in New York,
they're gonna go wild for him.
They're gonna lose their freaking mind.
He works really well with the fans.
Oh, and he's great. He's solid. He's straight out of Japan. He speaks about this much English, but
fun to watch.
Excellent newcomer. I'm going with him.
Last one. Who do I got?
We're not gonna be the same on this one. I guarantee you.
All right.
We got a fatal 4-way matchup for the Universal title.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar, the champion.
Yeah.
Versus Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Versus Braun Strowman. Versus Samoa Joe. Now, before you make your pick, Paul Heyman recently said, if Brock loses, him and I are gone. We're leaving. We're done. Which kind of brings us back to a couple weeks ago.
We
didn't talk about this. John Jones called out Brock Lesnar. Live on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Conveniently now, Paul Heyman saying if Brock loses the title, we're gone.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you think Lesnar retains, or does he just drop it and quote-unquote leaves?
I think he drops and quote-unquote leaves for a fight with John Jones and then comes back, because the UFC technically banned him for a year, but I think they'll let that up.
This is an interesting one, and I could see it going at least three of them.
Who was the other 3 fighters?
Lesnar, Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe.
I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't want it to be Roman Reigns, but I'm going with Roman Reigns.
I hope it's not Roman Reigns.
My bad.
You got ADD, don't you?
Always. Yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns. I hope it's not Roman Reigns. I hope it's Brock Lesnar. Brock's my favorite wrestler currently wrestling.
As much as I want it to be Brock Lesnar, I just don't see that happening. Not just because they said we were going to leave, but because I feel like they need to get the belt off of him at this point.
I agree.
He comes and goes. That's the thing. If he loses,
he's had the belt for a while now.
Right, and if he loses and they quote unquote leave, they're going to leave until the next time they need to fill the quota on his contract, saying, "Hey, you need to be here before the end of the year. You got 2 more dates on your contract before the year's over." So I can see that being a situation. I picked Braun Strowman He's basically the second coming of Brock Lesnar. He's this big monster, and he has a lot of momentum. Even though he's a quote-unquote bad guy, the fans are behind him. And I feel like it'll just be good. And you can have the belt around frequently, at least, and you can still have Roman Reigns or whoever the hell chasing after this quote-unquote bad guy. So, to me, it makes the most sense. I'm going Braun Strowman. You got to get the belt off of Lesnar. As much as I like him as a champion, I feel like he's the most quote-unquote legit out of anybody that you can put it on. It's about time to get it off him and probably just keep him away from the belt. I don't think he's going to the UFC. I don't buy that whatsoever. I think it's a storyline in general. 1, 2, I don't buy the whole John Jones call out. I think he was just talking shit. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And even if that does happen, it's not going to be at least until probably
5 or 6 months at least.
At least after January. So I'm not buying it. Brock Lesnar, he still has a contract with WWE going to at least
March.
next, right, which is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WWE still might be like, you know what, go ahead and go do that. They did it once before.
Mm-hmm. Vince got paid to do that.
Right.
In a way.
I'm not buying that. We're just going to have to wait and see. Even though Dana White hates WWE, but you know he changed that mind real quick when he won Brock, which I think he
let
wants
Ronda
again.
Rousey do stuff with the WWE.
Supposedly Ronda is in training right now.
To come back to fight UFC?
No.
WWE.
Allegedly.
That'd be nice.
It hasn't been proven, but supposedly she's started that process. Hey,
Sure.
regardless, I want to see her.
That's what she always wanted to do.
I want to see her. Yeah, definitely. So regardless if it's UFC or WWE,
I
want to see her get back out there.
I'm rooting for Brock in that match.
I don't hate you for that. As long as it's anybody but Roman, a.k.a. Tan John Cena.
Well, either way, it's going to be a fun SummerSlam, hopefully.
Oh, dude, there's 11 matches. At least
we'll be together
4
for
of
it.
them gotta be good, right?
We'll be together for it, so that'll be exciting
Definitely.
as well.
We'll make sure to have a recap next week.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more to talk about. I could even went into baseball. Shout out to baseball real quick. The NL Central race. Everyone needs to start paying attention to that. The Cubs are leading, but the Cardinals are hot on their tail. And the AL wildcard race, I had the Mariners making it over the Yankees, but Felix Hernandez got hurt, so that just turned into another wide open race. It's going to be fun, and the Dodgers are still killing it, even though, you know.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Magic. Do that for the Lakers,
We
bro.
will get to baseball for all of our baseball fans, I promise you. I've been paying attention still. There's a lot that just other stuff we got to get into over the course of these shows.
There's stuff that went down during the summer. We still have to touch base on.
And we will get to everything. We have 3 weeks or 2 more weeks till football, so we will get there.
Next week we got the quote-unquote fight.
Yeah, we're going to talk about McGregor and Mayweather next week. We'll make our predictions and whatnot, even though I think everyone kind of can already tell where we're going with that.
We'll dive into it much deeper, though.
The last thing I want to say, I mean, I feel like even though we're a sports show, we have a small voice if you're still listening and watching. All the stuff that's going down in Virginia, you know, like everyone just try to have peace, love, and happiness, please. It's out of hand, it's ridiculous. I'm not, you know, don't want to go just crazy into it or anything. Just, to me,
No.
I wouldn't feel right without kind of just, you know, back off everybody. We're all one, we're America, and saying we're going to do things is one thing, but actually doing it is kind of where we need to be at this point. So there's nothing more I can say than everyone else has said in this world, and it's not a representation of every single human that is one race or another in any situation, but it's disgusting to watch from afar in every direction. So it's out of hand, as it has been probably for a while now, but
it's factual. The only thing I gotta say about it is this ain't the 60s, bro. Relax.
Yeah. It's time for everybody to kind of, you know.
It's out of control, and it's getting more and more out of control, but we need to just all pump the brakes, let's put it that way. It's getting out of control.
Somehow we need like a refresher.
Been out of control,
as I said, it's been for a very long time. It's just like,
what did Cat Williams say? Control, Alt, Delete.
Yeah, we're about there.
Control, Alt, Delete.
And again, we're a show that, you know, we're a sports show. I feel like forever I want to get paid to be a sports show, so it's not a realm I'm ever going to hopefully dig in on, but it's just if I have a platform, you know, not on the side of the ones that were protesting some crazy stuff over the weekend. So
I'm just saying.
Hopefully everyone stays safe out there. You know,
watch your back.
All you can do is
Everybody.
All you can do is do your own part. Peace, love, and happiness. Treat everyone as you would want to be treated. Obviously, we're all bleeding right at the end of the day. So,
allegedly.
Shout out to JD Sports though.
Definitely.
Season 3, episode 2 is in the books. Football season's right upon us to wait.